this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill wise and technique wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis, a matchup nobody saw coming. Two stars from completely different worlds are stepping into the same ring, and both are determined to prove they're the superior fighter. The buzz is massive, the tension is real, and this fight has quickly become one of the most talked about events in boxing.
It's night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that, and my body filling out, I just feel amazing. It feels super strong.
Jake Paul has been vocal about his intense training camp for the Gervonta Davis fight. He claims he's bringing elite talent into camp, even boasting that he's dropped several sparring partners. Jake also revealed that Shakur Stevenson is joining him this week to help him prepare for the showdown with Tank. But what truly surprised fans was Jake's rare moment of honesty. He admitted that Tank is dangerous. People often underestimate Davis because of his smaller frame, saying he's too tiny to stand toe-to-toe with someone Jake's size. But Jake isn't buying that narrative. He openly acknowledged Tank's raw power, saying he hits like a truck despite his short height. Hearing Jake admit that he's actually nervous to share the ring with Tank says a lot. It shows how much he respects Tank's knockout power and skill. And that fear alone proves this fight is far from a circus act. It's real, and both men know it.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually gonna be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans don't realize the full story behind Gervonta Davis's journey. From the start of his career, Tank has sparred with heavyweights. And not just any heavyweights, but skilled, seasoned ones who knew how to handle themselves. Showbiz the Adult, a respected analyst, revealed that Tank didn't just survive those sessions, he dominated them. He punished fighters much bigger than him. So if Tank could handle experienced heavyweights in the gym, a cruiserweight like Jake Paul won't intimidate him. Jake might have size, but Tank has already conquered that mountain before. Those legendary sparring sessions prove that Tank isn't scared of fighting bigger men. He's used to it. As Showbiz pointed out, many of those heavyweights Tank faced were far more technical and experienced than Jake. While Jake Paul has improved greatly and transitioned from influencer fame to legitimate boxing, he's still learning the fundamentals. Tank, on the other hand, has been fighting elite-level talent since he was a teenager. If he could dominate fighters heavier and more skilled than Jake, then Jake's size advantage won't save him. As Showbiz summed it up, Tank versus Jake isn't a mismatch for Tank. If anything, it's Jake walking into dangerous territory.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, you know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back, this story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. You might knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Cause I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. Honestly, I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of let them know. No, like, you know, you do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring. And that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank has made a major decision about his future. He's not returning to 135 pounds. The constant weight cuts were too draining. He wants to stay strong, healthy, and perform at his absolute best. That's why he's officially moving up to 140 pounds, showing a new level of maturity in his career. This division represents growth, and it's where the Jake Paul fight will take place. After the showdown, Tank plans to remain at super lightweight, aiming to dominate this class just as he did the last. Some fans argue that fighting at 140 puts Tank at a disadvantage since Jake is naturally heavier, but Tank disagrees. He believes this is where his body performs best, with greater stamina, sharper power, and more explosive knockouts. Even at 135, he was flattening opponents. Now he's aiming for show-stopping finishes. This new version of Tank might be the most dangerous yet, and Jake Paul could be the first to experience it firsthand.
Or had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all. But usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at a higher weight classes,